Is he a gentleman? Rowley is not too much of a name.
Dressed like an old man, very tall and very dark, and a lot of dogs with him, and a lackey. Not a person you could shut the door in the face of, man, but very condescending, I must say.
Well, tell him to come back at 11:30, but I can't promise that Mr. Newton will be in. Still, if he likes to come on the chance, and without his dogs, mind, our diamond would fight with them.
Yes, ma'am, I'll tell him.
Oh, Sally, can you tell me, how much is 3 times 7? You were at school, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am, but they taught the boys to read, write, and cipher. Us girls were only taught to sew.
Well, never mind. I will ask Mr. Newton. He'll know if anybody will. Or some. Ask Jack the fish hawker. He's paunching the rabbits in the kitchen.
Yes, ma'am.
Three sixpences make 1 and 6pence, and 3 8pences make 2 shillings. They always do. But 3 7pences, give it up.
Please, ma'am, another gentleman wants Mr. Newton.
Another nobleman?
No, ma'am, he wears leather clothes, quite out of the common.
Did he give his name?
George Fox, he said, ma'am.
Why, that's the Quaker! The man in leather breeches, he's been in prison! How dare he come here wanting to see Mr. Newton? Go and tell him that Mr. Newton is not at home to the likes of him.
Oh, he's not a person I could talk to like that, ma'am. I dursn't.
Are you frightened of a man that can call a church a steeple house and walk into it without taking off his hat? Go this instant and tell him you will raise the street against him if he doesn't go away. Do you hear? Go and do as I tell you.
I'd be afraid he raised the street against us. I will do my best to get rid of him, without offense.
And mind you ask Jack how much 3 times 7 is.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh! Tell me where you're going, Mr. Newton. Someday you'll walk into the river and drown yourself. I thought you were out to the university.
Now, don't scold, Mrs. Basham, don't scold. I forgot to go out. I thought of a way of making a calculation that has been puzzling me.
And you have been sitting out there forgetting everything else since breakfast. However, since you have one of your calculating fits on, I wonder, would you mind doing a little sum for me to check the washing bill? How much is 3 times 7?
3 times 7. Oh, that is quite easy.
I suppose it is to you, sir, but it beats me. At school, I got as far as addition and subtraction, but I never could do multiplication or division.
Why, neither could I. I was too lazy. But they are quite unnecessary. Addition and subtraction are quite sufficient. You add the logarithms of the 2 numbers, and the antilogarithm of the sum of the 2 is the answer. Let me see. 3 times 7. The logarithm of 3 must be decimal 477 or thereabouts. The logarithm of 7 is, say, decimal 845. That makes 1 decimal 322, doesn't it? What's the antilogarithm of 1 decimal 322? Well, it must be less than 22 and more than 20.
Please, ma'am. Jack says it is 21.
Extraordinary! Here was I blundering over this simple problem for a whole minute, and this uneducated fish hawker solves it in a flash. He's a better mathematician than I.
This is our new maid from Woolsthorpe, Mr. Newton. You haven't seen her before.
Haven't I? I didn't notice it. You're from Woolsthorpe, are you? So am I. How old are you?
24, sir.
24 years. 8,760 days. 210,240 hours. 12,614,400 minutes. 756,864,000 seconds. A long, long life.
Come now, Mr. Newton. You will turn the child's head with your figures. What can one do in a second?
You can do, quite deliberately and intentionally, 7 distinct actions in 1 second. How do you count seconds? Hackety-backety 1, hackety-backety 2, hackety-backety 3, and so on. You pronounce 7 syllables in every second. Think of it. This young woman has had time to perform more than 5,000 millions of considered and intentional actions in her lifetime. How many of them can you remember, Sally?
Oh, sir, the only one I can remember was on my 6th birthday. My father gave me a 6pence, a penny for every year.
6 from 24 is 18. He owes you 1 and 6 pence. Remind me to give you 1 and 7 pence on your next birthday if you're a good girl. Now be off.
Oh, thank you, sir.
My father, who died before I was born, was a wild, extravagant, weak man, so they tell me. I inherit his wildness, his extravagance, his weakness, in the shape of a craze for figures of which I am most heartily ashamed. There are so many more important things to be worked at. The transmutations of matter, the elixir of life, the magic of light and color. Above all, the secret meanings of the scriptures. And when I should be focusing my mind on these, I find myself wandering into idle games of speculation, into numbers in infinite series, and dividing curves into indivisibly short triangle bases. How silly. What a waste of time, precious time.
There is a Mr. Rowley going to call on you at 11:30.
Can I never be left alone? Who is Mr. Rowley? What is Mr. Rowley?
Dressed like a nobleman. Very tall, very dark, keeps a lackey, has a pack of dogs with him.
Oh, so that is who he is. They told me he wanted to see my telescope. Well, Mrs. Basham, he is a person whose visit shall be counted a great honor to us. But I must warn you that just as I have my terrible weakness for figures, Mr. Rowley has a similar weakness for women. So you must keep Sally out of his way.
Indeed, if he tries any of his tricks on Sally, I shall see that he marries her.
He is married already.
Oh! That sort of man, the beast!
Not a word against him on your life. He is privileged.
He's a beast, all the same.
One of the beasts in the book of Revelation, perhaps, but not a common beast.
Fox, the Quaker, in these leather breeches, had the impudence to call.
George Fox. If he calls again, I will see him. Those 2 men ought to meet.
Those 2 men, indeed. The honor of meeting you ought to be enough for them, I should think.
The honor of meeting me. Don't talk nonsense. They are great men in their very different traits. I am nobody.
You are the greatest man alive, sir. And Mr. Haley told me so.
It was very wrong of Mr. Haley to tell you anything of the sort. You must not mind what he says. He is always pestering me to publish my methods of calculation and to abandon my serious studies. Numbers, numbers, numbers. Sines, cosines, hypotenuses, fluxions. Curves small enough to count as straight lines. Distances between 2 points that are in the same place. Are these philosophy? Can they make a man great?
Mr. Rowley and Mr. Fox.
After you, Mr. Fox, the spiritual powers before the temporal.
You are very civil, sir, and you speak very justly. I thank you. Am I addressing the philosopher Isaac Newton?
You are, sir. Will your noble friend do me the honor to be seated in my humble dwelling?
I must not impose on you by claiming the gentleman as my friend. We met by chance at your door, and his favorite dog was kind enough to take a fancy to me.
She is never mistaken, sir. Her friends are my friends. And so damaged a character as mine can claim any friends.
Be seated, Mr. Fox, pray.
George Fox, at your service. Not Mr. But I am very sensible of your civility.
It seems that it is I who am at your service. In what way can I oblige you?
As you remind me of, I have come here uninvited. My business will keep while you discharge yours with this nobleman, so-called.
I also am uninvited, Pastor. I may address you so both truthfully and civilly, may I not?
You have found the right word. I tended my father's sheep when I was a child. Now I am a pastor of men's souls.
Good. Well, pastor, I must inform you that I have no business here except to improve my time and waste our host's invaluable time, if you will allow me such a liberty. Proceed then with your business and take no notice of me, unless that is you would prefer me to withdraw.
I have no business in this world that all men may not hear. The more, the better.
I guess as much, and confess to an unbounded curiosity what George Fox can have to say to Isaac Newton. It is not altogether an impertinent curiosity. My trade, which is a very unusual one, requires that I know what Tom, Dick, and Harry have to say to one another. I find you two gentlemen much more interesting and infinitely more important.
What is your business, Mr. Rowley? Mr. Newton has much to do this morning. He has no time for idle conversation.
I had forgotten to make this lady known to you, gentlemen. Mrs. Basham, my housekeeper, and the faithful guardian of my hours.
Your servant, Mistress Basham.
God be with you, woman.
Mr. Rowley is a gentleman of great consequence, Mrs. Basham. He must not be questioned as if he were Jack the fishhawker. His business is his father's business.
No. My father's business is abolished in England. He was executed for practicing it. But we keep the old signboard up over the door of the old shop, and I stand at the shop door in my father's apron. Mrs. Basham may ask me as many questions as she likes, for I am far less important in England now than Jack the fishhawker.
But how do you live, sir? That is all I meant to ask.
By my wits, Mistress Basham, by my wits. Come, Pastor, enough of me. You are face to face with Isaac Newton. I long to hear what you have to say to him.
Isaac Newton, I have friends who belong to the new so-called Royal Society which the king has established to inquire, it seems, into the nature of the universe. They tell me things that my mind cannot reconcile with the Word of God as revealed to us in the Holy Scriptures.
What is your warrant for supposing that revelation ceased when King James' printers finished with the Bible?
I do not suppose so. I am not one of those priest-ridden churchmen who believe that God went out of business 6,000 years ago when he had called the world into existence and written his book about it. We three sitting here together may have a revelation if we open our hearts and our minds to it. Yes, even to you, Charles Stewart.
The mind of Charles Stewart is only too open, Pastor.
What did you call the gentleman, Mr.
A
Fox?
slip of the tongue, Mistress Basham. Nowhere in Holy Writ, Pastor, will you find any condemnation of Saul when he changed his name to Paul. Need you be more scrupulous than the apostles?
It is against my sinful nature to disoblige any man. So, Mr. Rowley, you shall be, if you so desire. But I owe it to you to let you know that I was not deceived by your new name.
Thank you, Pastor. Your sinful nature makes you the best man of men in the kingdom. And now, what about the revelation?
I am troubled. I cannot conceive that God should contradict himself. How must the revelation of today be received if it be contrary to the revelation of yesterday? If what has been revealed to you, Isaac Newton, be true, there is no heaven above us and no hell beneath us. The sun, which stood still upon Gibeon, and the moon in the valley of Ajalon, has stood still since the creation of the universe.
Do not let that trouble you, preacher. Nothing has ever stood still for an instant since the creation of the world. Neither the sun, the moon, the stars, nor the smallest particle of matter, except on 2 occasions.
2. I remember only one.
Yes, sir, 2. The first was when the sun stood still on Gibeon to give Joshua time to slaughter the Amorites. The second was when the shadow on the dial of Ahaz went 10 degrees backward, as a sign from God to good King Hezekiah, who was dying of a boil, until the prophet Isaiah made them put a lump of figs on it.
There is nothing like a poultice of roasted figs to cure a gum boil. And to think, that is because it is in the Holy Bible. I never knew it.
On reflection, the sun has stopped 3 times, for it must have stopped for an infinitesimal moment when it turned back, and again when it resumed its course.
I thank God. I thank God that you are not an unbeliever and would not make me one.
My good friend, there is nothing so wonderful that the philosopher cannot believe it. The philosopher sees 100 miracles a day, where the ignorant and thoughtless see only the daily round, the common task. Joshua was an ignorant soldier. Had he been a philosopher, he would have known that to stop the nearest speck of dust would have served his turn, as well as to stop the sun and moon, for it could not have stopped without stopping the whole machinery of the heavens. By the way, Mrs. Basham, the fact that the sun and moon were visible at the same time may help me fix the day the miracle occurred. Excuse me, gentlemen. I have written a chronological history of the world, and the dates give me some trouble.
Did not the late Archbishop Usher fix the dates of everything that ever happened?
Unfortunately, he did not allow for the precession of the equinoxes. I had to correct some of his results accordingly.
And saving the pastor's presence, what the devil of the precession of the equinoxes?
I am sinful enough to be grateful that you are as ignorant as myself. I suffer greatly from shame at my ignorance.
Shame will not help you, Pastor. I spend my life contemplating the ocean of my ignorance. I once boasted to have picked up a pebble on the endless beach of that ocean. I should have said a grain of sand.
I can well believe it. No man confronted with the enormity of what he does not know can think much of what he does know. But what are the precession of the equinoxes? If I rattle off those words at court, the entire peerage will be prostrate before the profundity of my learning.
Tell the gentleman, Mr. Newton. They will be here all day.
It is very simple. A child can understand it. The 2 days of the year on which the day and night are of equal duration are the equinoxes. In each successive sidereal year, they occur earlier. You will see at once that this involves a retrograde motion of the equinoctial points along the ecliptic. We call that the precession of the equinoxes.
And thank you, Isaac Newton. I am as wise as I was before.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Mr. Newton, injuring the poor gentleman's brains with such outlandish words. You must remember that everybody is not as learned as you are.
But surely it is plain to everybody.
No, it isn't plain to anybody, Mr. Newton.
Mr. Rowley, there's a lady in a coach at the door. Wants to know, are you ready to take a drive with her?
Any name?
No, sir. She said you'd know.
A duchess, would you say?
Oh, no, sir. Spoke to me quite familiar.
Nellie! Mr. Newton, would you like to be introduced to Mistress Gwynn, the famous Drury Lane actress?
Oh, I couldn't allow that, Mr. Rowley. I am surprised at you mentioning such a person in my presence.
I apologize. I did not know that you disapproved of the playhouse, Mrs. Basham.
I do not disapprove of the playhouse. My grandfather, who is still alive and hearty, was befriended in his youth by Mr. William Shakespeare, a well-known player and writer of comedies, tragedies, and the like. Mr. Shakespeare would have died of shame to see a woman on the stage. It is unnatural and wrong. Only the most abandoned female would do such a thing.
But still, the plays are more natural with real women in them, are they not?
Indeed, they are not, Mr. Rowley. They are not like women at all. They are just like... what they are. And they spoil the play for anyone who can remember the old actors in the women's parts. They could make you believe you were listening to real women.
Pastor Fox, have you ever spoken with a female type?
I? No, sir. I do not frequent such company.
Why not, Pastor? Is your charity so narrow? Nell is no worse than Mary Magdalene.
I hope Mary Magdalene made a good end and was forgiven, though we are nowhere told so. But I should not have asked her into my house. At least she was not on a stage.
What? What do you say, Pastor? Is Nellie not good enough for you?
Sir, there is nobody who is not good enough for me. Have I not warned our Christian friends, who are now captives in Barbary, not to forget that the life of God and the power of God are in their heathen masters, the Turks and the Moors, as well as in themselves? Is it any the less in this player woman than in a Turk or a Moor? I am not afraid of her.
Oh, and you?
Women enter a philosopher's life only to disturb. They expect too much attention. However, Mistress Gwyn has called to take you away, not to interrupt my work on fluxions. And if you will condescend to go down to her, she need not come up to us.
I see I must take my leave.
Rowley, darling! How long more are you going to keep me waiting in the street?
You are known to everyone present, Mr. Swin, I think. May I make our host known to you, the eminent philosopher, Mr. Newton.
I don't know what a philosopher is, Mr. Newton, but you look one. Every inch. Your servant, sir.
Yours, madam. I am ashamed that you should have been kept waiting at the wrong side of my door.
Isn't it an honor to be seen at your door, Mr. Newton?
Who keeps your house so beautifully? I thought philosophers were like Romish priests.
Not allowed to marry.
Is my house beautifully kept? I have never noticed it. Oh, this is Mrs. Basham, my housekeeper.
You never noticed it. You don't deserve such a housekeeper. Your servant, Mrs. Basham.
The other gentleman is the famous founder of the sect of Quakers.
Of friends, friend Rowley.
I know the man in the leather breeches.
I am also known as George Fox.
What of that man? Anybody might be George Fox, but there's only one man in the leather breeches. Your servant, George.
Yours, Nellie?
Nellie! If I may add you to the list of my homes, I shall be the proudest woman in London.
I did not found the order. Those I founded that of friends.
10 times better. Our beaux are our foes. They care for nothing but to steal our honor. But pray for me, friend Fox. I think you have God by the ear closer than the bishop.
Oh, he is closer to you than you have placed yourself to me. Has no priest come between you.
We must not take any more of Mr. Newton's time now. He is at work on auctions.
On what?
Auctions, I think you said, Mr. Newton.
What are flocktions?
Fluxions, madam, are the rates of change of continuously varying quantities.
I must go home and think about that, Mr. Philosopher.
I shall be much indebted to you, madam, if you would communicate to me the result of your reflections. The truth is, I'm not quite satisfied that my method, or perhaps I'd better say the notation of my method, is the easiest that can be devised. On that account, I've never cared to publish it.
You really think that I could teach you something, Mr. Newton? What a compliment. Did you hear that, Rowley, darling?
In these very simple matters, one may learn from anyone. And you, madam, must have very remarkable mental powers. You repeat long parts from
universe must be an ignorant ninny, except schoolboys who think she is a goddess, I declare you are the wisest man in England and the kindest.
And the busiest, no. Come, he has given us as much of his time as we have any right to ask for.
Yes, I know, I'm coming. May I come again, Mr. Newton?
No, madam. I cannot entertain ladies. They do not fit into my way of life. Mr. Rowley, you are well known to be as interested in ladies as I am interested in the scriptures. And I thank you for bringing this very attractive sample for my diversion. But sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. And I beg you will bring no more ladies here until I have had time to set aside a day of relaxation for their reception.
You must go, Rowley, darling. He doesn't want us.
You are fortunate, Mr. Newton, in suffering nothing worse than no. But I promise you your house shall be a monastery henceforth.
I have caught you, have I, with your troll? This is the scientific business which made it impossible for you to see me this morning.
Be silent for a moment, Barbara, whilst I introduce you to Mr. Newton, the eminent philosopher, in whose house you are an uninvited guest.
A pretty house, a pretty philosopher, a house kept for you to meet your women in.
Oh, Mr. Newton, either this female leaves the house this instant or I do.
Do you know, woman, that you are speaking of the Duchess of Cleveland?
I do not care who I am speaking of. If you are the Duchess of Cleveland and this house were what you said it was, you would only be too much at home in it. The house being what it is, you are out of place. You go, or I go.
You insolent slut! I will have you taken to the bridewell and whipped!
You shall not, Barbara. If you do not come down with me to your carriage this instant, I will throw you downstairs.
Do kill me and be happy with that low stage player. You have been unfaithful to me with her 1,000 times. Patience. Mrs. Basham, the lady is not in a state of reason. I will prove to you that what she says has no sense and need not distress us. Your Grace alleges that Mr. Rowley has been unfaithful to you 1,000 times. 100,000 times. For each unfaithfulness, allow a day. Or shall I say a night? Now, 100,000 nights is almost 300 years. To be precise, 273 years, 287 days, allowing 68 days for leap year every 4 years. Now, Mr. Rowley is not 300 years old. He is only 50, from which you must deduct at least 15 years for his childhood. 14. Let us say 14. Probably your Grace was also precocious. How many years shall we strike off your age for the days of your innocence?
5 at most.
Be silent, you! Say 12. That makes you, in effect, about 28. Have I denied it?
Flatterer.
28 to Mr. Rowley's 36. Your Grace has been available since, say, the year 1652, 28 years ago. My calculation is therefore correct. May I ask what you mean by available? I mean that the number of occasions on which Mr. Rowley could possibly be unfaithful to you is 10,220, plus 7 for leap years. Yet you allege 100,000 occasions and claim to have lived for nearly 3 centuries. As that is impossible, it is clear you have been misinformed about Mistress Gwyn. Are you mocking me, sir? Figures cannot mock, because they cannot feel. That is their great quality, and their great fault. Now, may I have the honor of conducting your Grace to your coach, or is it one of those newfangled sedan chairs? Or would your Grace prefer to be thrown down my humble staircase by Mr. Rowley? It has 24 steps in 2 flights. I will not leave this house until
in one of those tantrums of yours that Riley so often tells me about. I might copy them on the stage.
Dad, talk to you about me!
Talks to me about everything, dear, because I let him get in a word occasionally, which is more than you do.
Will you stand there and let me be insulted by this woman?
Barbara, I am tired of your tantrums. I made you a duchess. You behave like a streetwalker. I pensioned you and packed you off to Paris. You have no business to be here. Faster. What have you to say to all this? You're the oldest and wisest person present, are you not?
56. And still a child in wisdom.
What does this person know about women?
Only what the woman in myself teaches me.
Good for loving riches. What do you think of her, George?
She prates over much about unfaithfulness. The man Rowley cannot be unfaithful to her because he has pledged no faith to her. To his wife only can he be unfaithful.
Wrong, Pastor. You do not know my wife. To her only can I never be unfaithful.
Yes, you are kind to us, but we are nothing to you. I would trade places with her.
Will you order this college player to be silent in my presence?
It's not fair of her to keep mentioning my profession when I cannot decently mention her.
Behave yourself. In any decent English village, you would go to the ducking stool to teach you good manners and gentle speech. You must control yourself. Oh! I'm cold! I must go!
Son, you are going to a brawling church. You will be thrown into prison and I shall not be able to save you.
Bell strikes upon my life! Earthly kings cannot stay me, I'm cold! Now let me pass!
My person is sacred.
What is the matter?
The church bell drives him mad. Someone send and stop it.
God has stopped it! Another stroke! And I should not have answered for your life!
You must control yourself, preacher. In any decent English village, you would be put in the stocks to teach you good manners.
Woman, I have been put in the stocks, and I shall be put there again. But I will continue to testify against the steeple house and the brazen clangor of its belfries.
Now, Mr. Fox, you must not say such things here.
I tell you that from the moment you allow this man-made monster called a church to enter your mind, your inner light is like an extinguished candle, and your soul is plunged in darkness and damned. There is no atheist like the church atheist. I have converted many a poor atheist who would have been burnt or hanged if God had not sent him into my hands. But I have never converted a churchman. His answer to everything is not his God, but the church, the church, the church. They burn each other, these churchmen. They persecute, they do wickednesses of which no friend of God would be capable.
The Popish Church, not the Protestant one, Mr.
All
Fox.
of them. They are all snares of the devil. They stand between man and his maker and take on themselves divine powers when they lack divine attributes. Am I to hold my peace in the face of this iniquity? When the bell rings to announce some pitiful rascal twaddling in his pulpit, or some fellow in a cassock pretending to bind and loose, I hear an almighty voice call George Fox. George Fox, rise up! Testify, unmask these impostors, drag them down from their pulpits and their altars, and let it be known that needs to bring it back to God is not churchmen, but friends. Friends of God. Friends of man. Friendliness and sincerity everywhere. Superstition and pulpit play acting nowhere.
Pastor Fox, is not given to every man as it has been to you to make a religion for himself. A ready-made church is an indispensable convenience for most of us. The inner light must express itself in music, in noble architecture, in eloquence, in a word, in beauty, before it can pass into the minds of common men. And there are great mysteries that must be symbolized, for though we feel them, we do not know them, Mr. Newton having not yet discovered their nature, in spite of all his mathematics. And this reminds me, we are making a most unwarrantable intrusion on our host's valuable time. Mr. Newton, on my honor, I have no part in bringing upon you this invasion of womanhood. I hasten to bring them away and will call upon you at some happier time. Come, ladies, we must leave Mr. Newton to his mathematics.
I must correct that misunderstanding, sir. I would not have you believe that I would be so inhospitable as to drive away my guests merely to indulge in the trifling pursuit of mathematical calculation, which leads finally nowhere. But I have more serious business in hand this morning. I am engaged in a study of the prophecies of the book of Daniel. It may prove of the greatest importance to the world. I beg you to allow me to proceed with it in the necessary solitude. The ladies have not wasted my time. I have to thank her Grace of Cleveland for some lights on the book of Revelation suggested to me by her proceedings. But solitude absolutely free from the pleasant disturbance of lady society is now necessary to me, and I must beg you to withdraw.
Her Grace, the Duchess of Portsmouth.
Another woman! Take her away! Take them all away!
Louise, it is unlike you to pursue me. We are unwelcome here.
Pursue you? But I have never been so surprised in my life as to find you here. Nancy, and her Grace of Cleveland Macrompathy? What are you all doing here? I came to consult Mr. Newton, the alchemist. My business with him is private. It is with him, not with you, Sherry. I did not know he was holding a reception.
Mr. Newton is not an alchemist.
Pardon-moi, he is.
Mr. Newton, are you an alchemist?
My meditations on the ultimate constitution of matter have convinced me that the transmutation of metals, and indeed of all substances, must be possible. It is occurring every day. I understand that you, Mr. Rowley, have a private laboratory at Whitehall, at which you are attempting the fixation of mercury.
Without success, Mr. Newton, I shall give it up and try for the Philosopher's Stone instead.
Would you endanger your souls by dabbling in magic? The scripture says thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Do you think that God is fonder of sorcerers and wizards than of witches? If you count the wrath of God as nothing, and are above the law by your rank, are you not ashamed to believe such old wives' tales as the changing of lead into gold by the Philosopher's Stone?
Pastor Fox, I thank you for your well-meant warning. Now let me warn you. The man who begins by doubting the possibility of the Philosopher's Stone soon finds himself doubting the immortality of the soul. He ends by doubting the existence of the soul. There is no witchcraft about these things. I am as certain of them as I am of the fact that the world was created 4,004 years before the birth of our Lord.
And what warrant have you for that? The Holy Bible says nothing of your 4004. It tells us the world was created in the beginning. A mighty word, in the beginning. Think of it if you have any imagination. And because some fool in a steeple house, dressed up like a stage player in robes and mitre, dares to measure the days of the Almighty by his kitchen clock, you take his word before the word of God. Shame on you, Isaac Newton, for making an idol of an archbishop. There is no credulity like the credulity of philosophers.
But the archbishop has counted the years. My own chronology of the world has been founded on his calculation. Do you mean to tell me that all the labor I have bestowed on that book has been wasted?
Sinfully wasted.
George Fox, you are an infidel. Leave my house.
Your philosophy has led you to the conclusion that George Fox is an infidel. So much the worse for your philosophy. The Lord does not love men that count numbers. Read 2 Samuel chapter 24. The book is before you. Good morning, and God bless you and enlighten you.
Stay, Pastor. Mr. Newton, the word infidel is not one to be used lightly between us three. Old Tom Holmes, my tutor, who was to me what Aristotle was to Alexander the Great, was called an infidel. Even you, in spite of your interest in the book of Daniel, have been suspected as to doubt whether the apple falls from the tree by the act of God or by a purely physical attraction. Even I, the head of the church, the defender of the faith, stand between the Whigs who suspect me of being a papist and the Tories who suspect me of being an atheist. Now, the one thing that is true of all three of us is that if the common people knew our real minds, they would hang us and bury us in unconsecrated ground. We must stand together, gentlemen. What does it matter whether the earth is 4,000 years old, or, as I should guess, 10,000?
The world, 10,000 years old. Sir, you are mad.
Rousey, darling, you mustn't say such things.
What business is it of yours, pray? He has always defied God and betrayed women. He does not know the meaning of the word religion. He laughed at it in France. He hated it in Scotland. In England, he believes nothing. He loves nothing. He fears nothing except having to go on his travels again, as he calls it. What are 10,000 years to him? Or 10 million?
Are 10 million years beyond the competence of Almighty God? They are but a moment in his eyes. 4,000 years seem an eternity to a mayfly, or a mouse, or a mitred fool called an archbishop. Are we mayflies? Are we mice? Are we archbishops?
Mr. Fox, I have listened to too much blasphemy this morning. What you call an archbishop a mitred fool and compare him to a mouse is beyond endurance. I cannot believe that God will ever pardon you for that. Have you no fear of hell?
How shall I root out the sin of idolatry from this land? Worship your God-woman, not a dressed-up priest.
The archbishop is not a graven image. And when he is officiating, he is not in the likeness of anything in the heavens above or on the earth beneath. I'm afraid you do not know your catechism, Mr. Fox.
Excellent, Mrs. Basham, Pastor. She has graveled you with the second commandment, and she has put us all to shame for quarreling over a matter of which we know nothing. By the way, where were we when we began to quarrel? I have clean forgotten.
It was my business with Mr. Newton, I think. Nellie, will you take our sovereign lords away and leave me to speak with the alchemist in private?
Mr. Newton, not for worlds would I deprive you of a tete-a-tete with her Grace of Portsmouth. Pastor, you will accompany us. Nellie, you will come with the pastor. First, I must throw Duchess of Cleveland downstairs.
Number 7, Bishop Passion.
Come on, leather breeches.
Well, but you are God made you. I'm bound to be your friend.
I am proud of your friendship, George.
Madam, may I have a moment alone with the alchemist?
You certainly may not, Your Grace. I will not have Mr. Locke and his friends accuse me of having relations with women. If your business cannot be discussed before Mrs. Basham, it cannot be discussed with me. And you will please not speak of me as the alchemist, as you might call the apothecary or the chimney sweep. I am by profession, if it can be called a profession, a philosopher.
Pardon, I'm not habituated to your English manners. It is strange to me that a philosopher should need a chaperone. In France, it is I who should need one.
You are quite safe with me and Mrs. Basham. Madam, what is your business?
I want a Louvre charm.
A what?
A love charm. Something that will make my Louvre faithful to me if I drop it into his teeth. And mine, it must make him love me and not love everybody. He is wrong to however already of every pretty woman he meets. I make no secret of who he is. All the world knows it. The Louvre charm must not do him any harm, for if we poison the king, we shall be executed in the most horrible manner. It must be something that will be good for him.
And peculiar to yourself, not to Mistress Gwyn.
I do not mind Nellie. She is dear and so helpful when there is any trouble or illness. He picked her up out of the bed there. But the good God sometimes drops a jewel there. My nurse, a peasant woman, was worth 1,000 duchesses. Yes, he may have Nellie. A change is sometimes good for men.
Oh, Mr. Newton, I must go. I cannot stay and listen to this French lady's talk.
I shall never understand the things that English women are prudish about. And they are so extraordinarily coarse in other things. May I stay now that your chaperone has gone?
You will not want to stay when I tell you I do not deal in love potions. Ask the nearest apothecary for an aphrodisiac.
But I cannot trust the common apothecary. It will be all over the town tomorrow. Nobody will suspect you. I will pay any price you like.
I tell you, madam, I know nothing about such things. If I wish to make you fall in love with me, which God forbid, I should not know how to go about it. I should learn to play some musical instrument, or buy a new wig.
But you are an alchemist. You must know.
Then I am not an alchemist. But the changing of bodies into light and light into bodies is very conformable with the course of nature, which seems delighted with transmutations.
I do not understand. What are transmutations?
Never mind, madam. I have more important things to do than to peddle love charms to the king's lady.
Yes, to entertain the Duchess of Cleveland and Mistress Gwyn, and I am a mad preacher to amuse them. What have you to do that is more important than my business with you?
Many other things. For instance, to ascertain the exact distance of the sun from the earth.
But what a waste of time! What can it possibly matter whether the sun is 20 miles away or 25?
20 or 25. The sun is millions and millions of miles from the earth.
Oh, you are quite mad, Monsieur Newton. At such a distance you cannot see it. You cannot feel its heat. You cannot see it so plainly here as in France. Nor so often, but you can see it quite plainly sometimes, and you can feel its heat. It burns your skin and freckles you with your sandy hair. And then comes a little cloud over and you shiver with cold. Could that happen if it were 1,000 miles away?
It is very, very large, madam. It is 1,300,000 times heavier than the earth.
My good Miss Newton, do not be so fanciful. Look at it, look at it. It is much smaller than the earth. If I hold the base, would you call it a penny before my eye? It covers the sun and blots down. Let me teach you something, Monsieur Newton. A great French philosopher, Blaise Pascal, teach me this. You must never let your imagination run away with you. When you think of grandiose things, hundreds of millions and things like that, you must continually come down to earth and keep saying, you must see, you must feel, you must measure.
That is very true, madam. Above all, you must measure. And when you measure, you find that many things are bigger than they look. The sun is one of them.
You're impossible. But you will make me a new potion, will you not?
I will write you a prescription, madam.
Aqua? But aqua is only water, monsieur.
Water with a cabalistic sign after it, madam.
Possible. Is this long grammatical word? What is it? Mika fine needs. What is that?
Mycoponis, madam. A very powerful, life-giving substance.
It sounds wonderful. Is it harmless?
The most harmless substance in the world, madam. And the most precious.
Truly, you are a great man, Monsieur Newton, in spite of your millions of miles. And this last word here?
Only sugar to sweeten the mycoponis, but with a cabalistic sign after it. Here is your love charm, madam, but it is not a potion. The apothecary will make it into pills for you.
Good. That is better. Much better. It is much easier to make men take pills than to drink potions. And now, one thing more. You must swear to give this prescription to no other woman of the court. It is for me alone.
You have my word of honor, madam.
But a word of honor must be a gentleman's word of honor. You, sir, are bourgeois. You must swear on your Bible.
My word is my word, madam, and the Bible must not be mixed up with the magic of mycoponis.
Not black magic, is it? I could not touch that.
Neither black nor white, madam. Shall we say gray? But quite harmless, I assure you.
Good. Now, shall I make you a little present for your pills? How much shall it be?
Keep your money for the apothecary, madam. He will be amply satisfied with 5 shillings. I am sufficiently rewarded by the sound scientific advice you have given me from your friend Blaise Pascal. He was anticipated by an Englishman named Bacon, who was, however, no mathematician. You owe me nothing.
Shall I give one of the new golden guineas to the lady I shocked if I meet her on the stairs?
No, she would not take it.
How little you know the world, monsieur. Nobody refuses a golden guinea.
You can try the experiment, madam. That would be the advice of your friend Pascal.
Perhaps I better make it 2 guineas. She will never refuse that.
Mrs. Battle,
Monsieur.
I wish your grace good morning.
Yes, sir.
Show her grace to her chair, or whatever it is.
Au plaisir de vous revoir, monsieur de Philosophe.
$1,290 days. And in the very next verse, 1,335 days. 5 months difference. And the king's daughter of the south, who was she? And the king of the south, and he that cometh against him, and the vile person who obtains the kingdom by flatteries. And Michael, who was Michael?
His Royal Highness, the Duke of York.
Where is his majesty, the king?
Sir, I neither know nor care where the king is. This is my house, and I command to be left at peace in it. I am engaged in researches of the most sacred importance, and for them I require solitude. Do you hear, sir? Solitude! my house, or shall I throw you out the window?
You throw me out? Come on, some of you.
Odds business to me, what's this, a wrestling match? And what the devil are you doing here, Jamie? Why aren't you in Holland?
I am here where I have been thrown by our friend and protege, the infidel philosopher Newton.
Get up, man. Don't play the fool. Mr. Newton, your privilege with me does not run to the length of knocking my brother down. It is a serious matter to lay hands on a royal personage.
I had no intention of knocking your royal brother down. He fell and dragged me down. My intention was only to throw him out the window.
He could have left by the door, Mr. Newton.
He could, but he would not, in spite of my repeated requests. He stayed here to heap insults on the immortal Galileo, to ensure that he is unworthy to unloose.
Will you get up, Jamie, and not sit on the floor grinning like a jackanapes? Get up, I tell you.
You see what comes of frequenting the houses of your inferiors. They forget themselves and take a liberty, and you encourage heretics. I do not.
Mr. Newton, we are in your house and at your orders. Will you allow my brother and myself to have the room to ourselves a while?
My house is yours, sir. I am a resolute supporter of the exclusion bill, because I hope to prove that the Romish Church is the little horn of the fourth beast mentioned by the prophet Daniel. The great day of wrath is not yet come. Your brother is welcome here as long as you desire.
That fellow? Great. He called me a popish blockhead. You see what comes of encouraging these Protestants. If you had a pair of spunk in you, it would burn the law.
What I want to know is what you are doing here when you should be in Holland. I am doing what I can to stop this exclusion bill and to secure the crown for you when I die. I sent you to Holland so that your talent for making yourself unpopular might be exercised there instead of here. Your life is in danger in London. You had no business to come back. Why have you done it?
Charles, I'm a prince.
Oh, do I not know it? God help you.
Our father lost his head by compromising with Protestants, Republicans, levelers, and atheists. What did he gain by it? They beheaded him. I'm not going to share his fate by repeating that mistake. I am a Catholic, and I am civil to none but Catholics, however unpopular it may make me. When I am king, as I shall be, in my own rights and not by any belief of any Protestant parliamentary gain, I shall restore the church, and restore the monarchy. Yes, the monarchy, Charles, for there has been no real restoration, cleverly as you play with these wigs and you are no king. That is because you have no faith, no principles. You don't believe in anything. And a man who doesn't believe in anything is afraid of everything. You're a damn coward, Charles. I'm not. When I'm king, these fellows will see what a king's will is when he reigns by divine right. It will be that straight lips then. And Europe will see him crumble up to the moths and a kingdom.
It's a funny thing, Jamie, that you are clever enough to see that monarchy is gone and that I keep the crown by my wits. Foolish enough to think that you have only to stretch out your clenched fist and take it back again.
Mr. Rowley, I must tell you that I can't receive any more of your guests. I have not knives, nor plates, nor glasses enough. I have had to borrow chairs from next door. Your valet, Mr. Mr. Chippinch tells whoever has any business with you this morning to come on here. Mr. Godfrey Kneller, the new Dutch painter, with a load of invalids connected in this trade, had got in spite of me. He heard the noise your people were making. There are the two ladies, and the player woman, and yourself, and your royal brother, and Mr. Fox, and the painter. That makes 7. Mr. Newton makes 8, and I make 9. I have nothing to offer them but half a decanter of sherry that was opened last Easter, and the remains of a moldy cake. I have sent Sally out with orders or to run away with a fortnight's housekeeping money, and that won't be half what they'll expect. I thought they were all going away when they came downstairs, but the French lady wanted to look through Monsieur Novoton's telescope, and the jealous lady wouldn't leave until the French lady left, and the player woman is as curious as a magpie, makes herself as much at home as if she lived here. It is ended in their all staying. And now, Mr. Newton is explaining everything and showing off his telescope and never thinking what I am to do with them. How am I to feed them?
Don't feed them, Mrs. Thatch. Starve them out.
Oh, no. I couldn't do that. What would they think of us? Mr. Newton has his position to keep up.
It is the judgment of heaven on you for turning away my pretty spaniels from your door this morning.
There were 12 of them, sir.
You would have found them better company than 9 human beings. But never mind. Sally will tell all the tradesmen that Mr. Newton's entertaining me and my brother. They will call themselves purveyors to His Majesty the King. Credit will be unlimited.
Remember that this is Friday, a fast day. All I need is 3 or 4 different kinds of fish.
No, sir. In this household, you will have to be content with a Protestant dinner. Jack the fish hawker is gone, but he left us a nice piece of cod, and that's all you'll get, sir.
Jamie, we must clear out and take the others with us. It seems we cannot visit anyone without ruining them.
What can a few pounds more or less matter to anyone?
I can remember when they meant to diddle the lot to me and to you too. Let us get back to Newmarket.
No, sir. Mr. Newton would not like that. He knows his duties as your host. And if you will pardon me saying so, sir, you all look as if a plain, wholesome dinner would do you no harm for once in a way. By your leave, I will go to look after it. I must turn them all out to the laboratory and send them up here while I lay the table down there.
A nice piece of cod among 9 people.
Isn't that a dainty dish to set before a king? Your fast will be a real fast, Jamie, for the first time in your life.
You lie, my penances are all real.
Well, a hunk of bread, a lump of cheese, and a bottle of ale are enough for me or for any man at this hour.
I have made 8 new friends. But has the Lord sent them to me? Such friends!
Oh, Rowley, darling! They want me to recite my big speech from the Indian Emperor, but I can't do that without proper drapery. It's classical. And what is my Jamie doing here?
Why not give us a prologue? Your prologues are your best thing.
Yes, a prologue.
But I can't do a prologue unless I'm in breeches.
No! Eleanor Gwynn, how much more must I endure from you? I will not listen to a prologue that can be spoken only by a woman in breeches. And I warn you, that when I raise my voice to heaven against mummery, whether in playhouse or steeple house, I can drown and dumb the loudest ribald ranter.
Pastor, Mr. Smith is neither a wriggled nor a ranter. The plays and prologues for which she is famous are the works of the greatest playwright of the age, the poet laureate John Dryden.
If he has given to the playhouse talents that were given to him for the service of God, his guilt is the deeper.
Have you considered, Pastor, that a playhouse is a place where 2 or 3 are gathered together?
Not when I am playing, Rowley, darling. 200 or 300, more likely.
Sir, you are upsetting my mind. You force me to make woman. Now you would persuade me that the playhouse is as divine as my meeting house. I find your company agreeable to me, but very unsettling.
The settled mind stagnates past her. Come, shall I give you a taste of Mr. Dryden at his best?
Oh, yes, Mr. Raleigh. Give us your pet speech from a Razorby.
Yes, yes. He speaks it beautifully. He is almost as good as an actor as King Louis, and he is really more of a grand air.
Thank you, Louise. Next time, leave out the almost. My part is more difficult than that of Louis. Now listen. No, pray, my audience must be seated.
Pray silence for his Majesty the King, who's going to make a fool of himself to please the Quaker.
Forgive Jamie, ladies and gentlemen. He will give you his own favorite recitation presently, but the king comes first. When I consider life, 'tis all a cheat. Yet, fooled with hope, men favor the deceit. Trust on and think, tomorrow will repay. Tomorrow's falser than the former day. Lies worse. And what it says, we shall be blessed with some new choice, cuts off what we possessed. Strange cousinage, none would live past years again. Yet all hope, pleasure in what yet remained. And from the dregs of life, think to receive what the first sprightly running could not give. I'm tired of waiting for this can't go that fools us young and beggars us when old. What do you think of that, Master?
It is the cry of a lost soul from the bottomless blackness of its despair. Never have I heard anything so terrible. This man has never lived. I must seek him out and show him the light and the truth.
Tut, tut, George. The man in the play is going to be killed. To console himself, he cries sour grapes, that is all. Now, shall I give you?
Something old-fashioned. Give him a bit of Shakespeare.
What, that author the old actors used to talk about? He doesn't play women in his plays. I don't know any. They require several actors of the first quality, and would you believe it, George? Those laddies will not play now for less than 15 shillings a week.
15 shillings a week to a player when the servants of God can scarce maintain themselves alive by working at mechanical trades. Such wickedness will bring a black judgment on the nation. Charles Stewart, have you no regard for your soul that you suffer such things to be done?
You would not grudge the poor fellows their 15 shillings if you knew what the women cost.
What manner of world is this that I am coming to? Is virtue unknown here? Or is it despised?
Mr. Dryden has an answer for that. How vain is virtue which directs our ways through certain danger to uncertain praise. The world is made for the bold, impious man who stops at nothing, sees all he can. Justice to mirth does weak aid avoid. She trusts her balance and ignores her soul. Virtue is slow to take not what's her own, and while she long consults, the prize is gone.
I take no exception to this. I have too good reason to know that it is true. But beware how you let these bold, impious fellows extinguish hope in you. Their day is short,
speeches because he wanted to do one himself, and now His Highness the Duke of York must have his turn.
Oh, we poor devils of princes, not to have any of the good things, nor do any of the pleasant things, because we are royal highnesses. Were you not freer and happier when you sold oranges in Drury Lane than you are now as a culture lady?
Did you sell oranges in Drury Lane?
They say I did. The people like to believe I did. They love me for it. I say nothing.
Come, give us one of Sidara's speeches from the Indian Emperor. Wasn't that you burst on the stage as the ambitious orange girl?
Oh, wretched part. I had to stand mum on stage for hours while the others were spouting. Mr. Dryden does not understand how hard that is. Just listen to this, the longest speech I had. Nay, I believe my eyes! What do I see? Is this her hate to him? Her love to me? 'Tis in my breast she sheathes her dagger now! False man, is this thy faith? Is this thy vow? Then somebody says something.
What words, dear saint, are these I hear you use? What face, what voice are those which you accuse?
Those which you accuse, that's my cue. More cruel than the tiger or his spile, and falser than the weeping crocodile. Can you add vanity to guilt and take a pride to hear the conquest which you make? Go! Publish your renown. Let it be said, the woman you love you have betrayed. Rally, darling. I cannot go on if you keep laughing at me. If only Mr. Dryden had given me some really great lines like the ones he gave to Montezuma. Listen. Still less and less my boiling spirits flow, and I grow stiff as cooling metals do. Farewell, Elmira!
Now, do you tell me that living men and women, created by God in his likeness and not in that of gibbering apes, can be bribed to utter such trash, and that others will pay to hear them do it when they will not enter a meeting house for a penny in the plate to hear the words of God himself? What society is this I am in? I must be dreaming I am in hell.
George, you're forgetting yourself. You should have applauded me. I will recite for you no more.
He does not understand now. Tell him the story of the play and why Montezuma says such extravagant things.
But how can I, Raleigh, darling? I don't know what it's all about. I know only my part and my cue. All I can say is that when Montezuma speaks those lines, he drops dead.
Can you wonder that he does so? I should drop dead myself if I heard such fustian pass my lips.
Is it worse than the question that passes the lips of the rampers in your conventicles?
I cannot deny it. The preachers are a greater danger than the players. I had not thought of this before. Again, you unsettle my mind. There's one Jeremy Collier who swears that he will write such a book on the profaneness and immorality of the stage as will either kill the theater or shame it into decency. But these lines just uttered by Eleanor Gwynn are not profane and immoral. They are mad and foolish.
Also less harmful, monsieur. They are not meant to be taken seriously, and no one takes them so. But your Huguenot ranters presented to be inspired, and foolish people are deluded by them. In what sort of world would they make for us if they got the upper hand? Can you name a single pleasure that they would leave us to make life worth living?
It is not pleasure that makes life worth living. It is life that makes pleasure worth having. And what pleasure is better than the pleasure of holy living?
I have been in Geneva, blasphemously called the City of God under that detestable Frenchman Calvin. By now, thank God, has spent a century in hell. And I can testify that he left the wretched citizens only one worldly pleasure,
What was that?
money making.
Odsmith, that was clever of him. It's a very satisfying pleasure, and one that lasts till death.
It does not satisfy me.
You have never experienced it, Louise. You spend money. You do not make it. You spend 10 times as much as Nellie. You are not 10 times as happy. If you made 10 times as much as she, you would never tire of it and never ask for anything better.
Pshaw! If I spent 1 week making money or even thinking about it, instead of throwing it away with both hands, all my charm would be gone. I would become the dull thing, a plain woman, my face would be full of brains instead of beauty, and you would send me back to France by the next ship, as you said, Baer.
Well, what if I did? You'll soon grow tired of me, for I'm an ugly old fellow, but you would never grow tired of money-making.
Now the Lord be praised, my trade is one in which I can make money without losing my good looks.
You believe what you say. Why do you not make money yourself instead of running after women?
Because there is a more amusing occupation for me.
I have not seen you practice it. Shaw, what is it?
Kingcraft.
Of which you have not the faintest conception.
Like Louise, you have not seen me practice it. But I am King of England, and my head is upon my shoulders.
Raleigh, darling, you must learn to keep King Charles's head out of your conversations. You talk too much of him.
Why is it that we always talk of my father's head and never of my great-grandmother's? She was, by all accounts, a pretty woman. But the Protestants chopped her head off in spite of Elizabeth. They had Stafford's head off in spite of my father. Then they had his own off. I'm not a bit like him, but I have more than a touch in me of my famous grandfather Henry IV of France. He died with a Protestant dagger in his heart. The deadliest sort of Protestant, a Catholic Protestant. There are such living paradoxes. They burst the poor wretch's hand off with a dagger in it, and tore him to pieces with galloping horses. But Harry lay dead all the same. Protestants will have you, Jamie. By hook or crook, I foresee that. They are the real men of blood. They will not have me. I will die in my bed and die King of England in spite of them.
This is not kingcraft. This is chicanery. Protestantism gives the lie to itself. It overthrows the Roman Church and immediately builds itself another nearer home and makes you the head of it. Though it is now plain to me that your cleverness acknowledges no church at all. You are right there. Churches are the snares of the devil. But why not follow the inner light that has saved you from the churches? Be neither Catholic nor Protestant, Whig nor Tory. Throw your crown into the gutter and be a friend. Then all the rest shall be added to you.
The crown is not so easy to get rid of as you think, Pastor. Besides, I have had enough of the gutter. I prefer Whitehall.
You would like to have a king for your follower, eh?
I desire friends, not followers. I am simple in my tastes. I am not schooled and learned as you two princes are.
Thank your stars for that, Pastor. You have nothing to unlearn.
That is well said. Too often have I found that a scholar is one whose mind is choked with rubbish that should never have been put there. But how do you come to know this? Things come to my knowledge by the grace of God. Yet the same thing has come to you who live a most profane life and has no sign of grace at all.
You and I are mortal men, Pastor. It is impossible for us to differ very greatly. You have to wear leather breeches, lest you be mistaken for me.
Do you see this?
Splendid. Has Mr. Neller done this? Nobody can catch a likeness as he can.
Likeness! You have bribed him to insult me! It makes me look 100!
Nonsense, dear. It's you to the life. What do you say, Jane?
See, Duchess, he has got you, wrinkle for wrinkle.
You say this to my face! You will see my portraits by Lily!
You were younger then, darling.
Who asked you for your opinion, you jealous cat?
Sit down and don't be silly, Barbara. A woman's face does not begin to be interesting until she is our age.
Our age. You old wretch, you dare to pretend you are as young as I am?
I am only 50, Barbara, but we are both getting on. That was wicked of you. You'll destroy the fine piece of work. Go back to France. I tell you, I am tired of your tantrum.
Mr. Nether, I will dispute with you no more. You do not understand what you are talking about.
Sir, I must tell you, in the presence of His Majesty, you are a most overweening, a most audacious man. You presume to teach me my profession.
What is the matter, Mr. Newton?
Let it pass, Mr. Rowley. This painter has one kind of understanding. I have another. There is only one course open to us both, and that is silence.
Mr. Newton is our host, Mr. Neller, and he is a very eminent philosopher. Will you not paint his picture for me? That can be done in silence.
I will paint his picture if your Majesty so desires. He has an interesting head. I should have drawn it this morning, had not her Grace of Cleveland insisted on my drawing her instead. But how can an interesting head contain no brain? That is the question.
Hobsbawm man, he has the greatest brain in England.
Then he is blinded by his monstrous conceit. You shall judge between us, sir. Am I or am I not the greatest draftsman in Europe?
You are certainly a very great draftsman, Mr. Neller.
Can anyone here draw a line better than I?
Nobody here can draw a line at all, except the Duchess of Cleveland, who draws a line at nothing.
Horrors!
No, be silent, Barbara. Do not presume to contradict your king.
If there is a science of lines, do I not understand it better than anyone?
Granted. Mr. Neller, what then?
This man here, this crazy and conceited philosopher, dares to assert, in contradiction of me, that a right line is a straight line, and that everything that moves in a straight line, unless some almighty force bends it from its path. This, he says, is the first law of motion. He lies.
And what do you say, Mr. Neller?
Sir, I do not say, I know. The right line, the line of beauty, is a curve. My pen will not draw a straight line. I have to stretch a chalked string on my canvas. that your Duchess here is as famous for her beauty as the Psyche of the divine Raphael, then there is not a straight line in her body. She is all curves.
Decency, fellow, how dare you!
It is true, Barbara. I can testify to it.
Charles, you are obscene! The impudence!
The beauty, madam. Clear your mind of this. There is not a line drawn by the hand of the Almighty from the rainbow in the skies to the house that the snail carries on his back that is not a curve, and a curve of beauty. Your apple fell in a curve.
I explained that.
You mistake explanations for facts. All you science mongers do. The path of the world curves, as you yourself have shown, and as it whirls on its way, it would leave your apple behind if the apple fell in a straight line. Motion in a curve is the law of nature, and the law of nature is the law of God. Go out into your garden and throw stones straight, if you can. Shoot an arrow from a bow, a bullet from a pistol, a cannonball from the mightiest cannon the king can lend you. And though you had the strength of Hercules and gunpowder more powerful than the steam which hurls the stones from Etna in eruption, yet cannot you make your arrow or your bullet lie straight to its mark.
This man does not know what he is saying. Take him away and leave me in peace.
What he says calls for an answer, Mr. Newton.
The painter is right. A cannonball flies across the sea like the arches of a bridge. Hop, hop, hop. But why does it matter whether it flies straight or crooked, provided it hits between wind and water?
To you, Admiral, it matters nothing. To me it makes the difference between reason and madness.
How so?
Sir, if what this man believes be true, then not only is the path of the cannonball curved, but space is curved, time is curved, the universe is curved.
Of course it is! Why not?
Why not? Only my life's work thrown to waste, vanity, folly. This comes of admitting strangers to break into my holy solitude with their diabolical suggestions. But I am rightly rebuked for this vice of mine that led me to believe that I could construct a universe with empty figures. In future, I shall do nothing but my proper work of interpreting the scriptures. Lead me to that work and to my solitude. Be gone, all of you. You have done mischief enough for one morning.
But, Mr. Newton, may we not know what we have done to move you thus? What diabolical suggestions have we made? What mischief have we done?
Sir, you began it. You and this infidel Quaker. I have devoted months of my life to the writing of a book, a chronology of the world, which would have cost any other man than Isaac Newton 20 years hard labor.
I have examined that book and been astonished at the mental power displayed in every page of it.
You may well have been, Mr. Rowley. And now, what have you and Mr. Fox done to that book? Reduced it to a monument of the folly of the Archbishop Usher, who dated the creation of the world at 4004 BC, and of my stupidity in assuming he had proved his case. My book is nonsense from beginning to end. How could I, who have calculated that God deals in millions of miles of infinite space, be such an utter fool as to limit eternity, which has neither beginning nor end, to a few thousand years? But this man, Fox, without education, without calculation, without even a schoolboy's algebra, knew this when I, who was born one of the greatest mathematicians in the world, trudged over my silly book for months, could not see what was staring me in the face.
Well, why howl about it? Bring out another edition and confess that your Protestant mathematics are a delusion in a snare, and your Protestant archbishops imposters.
You do not know the worst, sir. I have another book in hand, one which should place me in line with Kepler, Copernicus, and Galileo as a master astronomer, and as the completer of their celestial systems. Can you tell me why the heavenly bodies in their eternal motion do not move in straight lines, but always in ellipses?
I understand that this is an unsolved problem of science. I certainly cannot solve it.
I have solved it by the discovery of a force in nature which I call gravitation. I've accounted for all the celestial movements by it. And now comes this painter, this ignorant dauber, who, were it to save his soul, if he has a soul, could not work out the simplest equation, or as much as conceive an infinite series of numbers. This fellow substitutes my first law of motion, straight line motion, motion in a curve.
So, fame goes your second volume of Protestant philosophy, washed under Barbara's outlaw.
I will not have my outlines discussed by men. I am not a heathen goddess. I am a Christian lady. Charles always encourages infidels and libertines to blaspheme, and now he encourages them to insult me. I will not bear it.
Do not be an idiot, Barbara. Mr. Neller is giving you the highest compliment in taking you as a model of the universe. The choice would seem to be between a universe of Barbara's curves or a universe of straight lines seduced from their straightness by some purely mathematical attraction. That would seem to be on the side of the painter, but in this matter, can I, founder of the Royal Society, take the painter as a higher authority than the philosopher?
Your Majesty, the world must learn from its artists, because God made the world as an artist. Your philosophers steal all their boasted discoveries from the artists, and then pretend to have deduced them from figures which they call equations, invented for that dishonest purpose. This then talks of Copernicus, who pretended to discover that the earth goes round the sun, instead of the sun going round the earth. So, Copernicus was a painter before he became an astronomer. He found astronomy easier. But his discovery was made by the great Italian painter, Leonardo, born 21 years before him, who told all his intimates that the earth is a moon of the sun.
Did he prove it?
Man, artists do not prove things. They do not need to. They know them.
This is false. Your notion of a spherical universe comes from the heathen Ptolemy. Of all the magicians who believed the only perfect figure is the circle.
Just what such blockheads would believe. The circle is a dead thing, like a straight line. No living hand can draw it. You make it by twirling a pair of dividers. Take a sugar loaf and cut it slantwise, and you will get hyperbolas and parabolas, ellipses and ovals, which Leonardo himself could not draw, but which any fool can make with a knife and a lump of sugar. I believe in none of these mechanical forms. The line drawn by the artist's hand, the line that flows, that strikes, that speaks, that fine handiwork.
You too are a philosopher, Mr. Nell.
So, when a man has the gift of a painter, that qualification is so magical that you cannot think of him as anything else. Who thinks of Leonardo as an engineer? Of Michelangelo as an inventor or a sonneteer? Of me as a scholar and a philosopher? These things are all in our day's work. They come to us without thinking. They are trifles beside our great labor of creation and interpretation.
I have Bosun once in my flagship. He thought he knew everything.
Perhaps he did. Divine grace takes many strange forms. I smell it in this painter. I have met it in common sailors like your bosun. The cobbler thinks there is nothing like leather.
Not when you make it into breeches instead of boots, George.
Be decent, woman! One does not mention such garments in well-bred society.
Orange girls and players and such like poor folk think nothing of mentioning them. They have to mend them and sometimes to make them, so they have an honest knowledge of them and are not ashamed, like fine ladies, who have only a dishonest knowledge of them.
Quiet, Ella, you are making Barbara blush.
That's more than you've ever been able to do, Rowley, darling.
It is well for you that you have all these men to protect you, mistress. Someday, when I catch you alone, I'll make you wish you had 10 pairs of leather breeches on you.
Come, no quarreling.
She began it, Rowley, darling.
No matter who began it, no quarreling, I command.
Stop! The men have been quarreling all the morning. Did your command apply to them too?
Their quarrels are interesting, Louise.
Are they? They bore me to distraction.
Much blood has been shed for them. And much more will be after we are gone.
Oh, do not preach, Charles. Leave that to this person who is just partly in leather. It is his profession. It is not yours.
The Protestants will not let me do anything else, my dear. But come! Mr. Newton has asked us many times to leave his house. We must not forget that he never asked us to come into it. But I have a duty to perform, and before we go, I must reconcile him with Mr. Kneller, who will paint his portrait to hang in the walls of the Royal Society.
It is natural that your majesty should desire a work of mine for the society. And this man's head is unusual, as one would expect from his being a philosopher, that is, half an idiot. I trust your majesty was pleased by my sketch of her grace of people.
Your filthy caricature of her Grace of Cleveland is under your feet. You are walking on it.
Is the king torn up? A work of mine? I leave the country this afternoon.
I would much sooner have torn up Magna Carta. Her Grace tore it up herself.
It is a strange fact, your majesty, that no living man or woman can endure his or her portrait if it tells all the truth about them.
You lie, you miserable dauber! When our dear Peter Lilly, who has just died, painted me as I really am, did I destroy his portrait? But he was a great painter, and you are fit only to whitewash unmentionable places!
Her Grace's beauty is so famous, we are all tired of it. She is the handsomest woman in England. She is also the stupidest. Nell is the wittiest. She is also the kindest. Louise is the loveliest and the cleverest. She is also a lady. I should like to have portraits of them all as they are now, not as Lily painted them.
No, shall. I do not want to add the old truth about me and down to posterity.
Same here. I prefer the orange girl.
I see I shall not succeed in England as a painter. My master, Rembrandt, did not think a woman worth painting until she was 70.
Well, you shall paint me when I'm 70. In the theater, the young ones are beginning to call me auntie. When they call me old Margwyn, I shall be ready for you, and I shall look my very best then.
What about your portrait, Mr. Fox? You have been silent too long.
I am dumbfounded by this strange and ungodly talk. To you it may seem mere gossip, but to me it is plain that this painter claims that his hand is the hand of God.
And whose hand is it, if not the hand of God? You need hands to scratch your heads and carry food to your mouths. That is all your hands need to do. But the hand that can draw the images of God and reveals the soul in them and is inspired to do this and nothing else, even if he starves and is cast off by his father and all his family for it, is not his hand, the hand used by God, who, being a spirit without body, hearts, or passions, has no hands.
So the men of the steeplehouse say, but they lie. Has not God a passion for creation? Is he not all passion of that divine nature?
Sir, I do not know who you are, but I will paint your portrait.
Bravo! We are getting on. How about your portrait, Mr. Newton?
Not by a man who lives in a curved universe. He would distort my features.
Perhaps gravitation would distort them equally, Mr. Newton.
That is very intelligent of you, Louise.
It takes some intelligence to be both a French spy and a blue stocking. I thank heaven for my stupidity, as you call it.
Barbara, must I throw you downstairs?
In France, they call me the English spy. But this is the first time I have been called the blue stocking. All I meant was that Mr. Neller and Mr. Newton seem to mean exactly the same thing. Only one calls it beauty and the other gravitation. So you need not quarrel. The portraits will be the same both ways.
Can he measure beauty?
No, I can paint a woman's beauty, but I cannot measure it in a paint pot. Beauty is immeasurable.
I can measure gravitation. Nothing exists until it is measured. Fine words are nothing. Do you expect me to go to the Royal Society and tell them that the orbits of a planet are curved because painters think them prettier so? How much are they curved? This man cannot tell you. I can. Where will they be 6 months hence? He cannot tell you. I can. All he has to say is that the earth is a moon of the sun and the line of beauty is a curve. Can he measure the path of the moon? Can he draw the curve?
I can draw your portrait. Can you draw mine?
Yes, with a camera obscura. And if I could find a chemical salt sensitive to light, I could fix it. Someday portraits will be made at the street corners for 6 pence apiece.
A looking glass will make your portrait for nothing. It makes the Duchess's portrait 50 times a day.
It does not! I don't look at myself in the glass 50 times a day. And Charles never passes one without looking at himself. I have watched him.
It rebukes my vanity every time, Barbara. I am an ugly old fellow, but I always think of myself as an Adonis.
You're not as ugly as you think, Shaw. You were an ugly baby, and your wicked mother told you so. You have never got over it. But when I was sent to England to captivate you with my baby face, it was you who captivated me with your 70 inches and your good looks.
I flatter him! Flatter him! He loves it!
I cannot bear this. The subject is to be dropped.
But Shaw,
No, no, no. Not a word more. The king commands it.
In the presence of this earthly king, all you great nobles become dumb flunkies. What will you be when the king of kings calls you from your graves to answer for your lives?
Trust you, George, to put in a cheerful word. Rowley, darling, may we all stop being dumb flunkies and be human beings again?
Mr. Rowley apologizes for his lapse into royalty. Only the king's person is not to be
but
discussed.
Shaw, I love you when you put on your royalty. My king Louis XIV, le grand monarque, le roi soleil, never puts off his royalty for a moment, even in the most ridiculous circumstances.
Yes, and he looks like a well-to-do grocer, and will never look like anything else.
You would not dare say so in Versailles, or even to think so. He is great. His greatness makes us great also. But it is true that he is not 6 feet high, and that the grand manner is not quite natural to him. Shaw can do it so much better when he chooses. Shaw, why don't you choose?
I prefer to keep the crown and the grand manner up my sleeve until I meet him. Louis and I played together when we were boys. We know each other too well to be good company, so I take care to keep out of his way. Besides, Louise, when I make you all great, you become terrible bores. I like Nellie because nothing I do can make a courtier out of her. You know why?
Because the orange girl has the daughter in her blood.
Not at all. Tell her the reason now.
I don't know it, Rowley, darling. I never was an orange girl, but I have the gutter in my blood, all right. I think I have everything in my blood. For when I'm on the stage, I can be anything you please. Orange girl, or queen, or even a man. I don't know the reason why, so you can tell it to her, Rowley, darling, if you know it.
Just because in theater you are a queen. I tell you, the world is full of kings and queens and their little courts. Here is Pastor Fox, the king in his meeting house, though his meetings are against the law. Here is Mr. Newton, a king in the New Royal Society. Here is Godfrey Kneller, a king among painters. I could make you all dukes and duchesses, your sons dukes and duchesses, but who would be dukes and duchesses when you could be kings and queens?
Dukes will be 6 a penny if you make all Barbara's sons dukes.
My sons have gentle blood in their veins, not gutter dirt.
How shame, though. It was inbred of you to approach her grace for the most amiable side of her character.
I beg pardon, God forgive me, I'm no better myself.
No better, you impudent slut!
Well, no worse if you like. One little duke is enough for me.
Change the subject, Shaw. What you were saying about little kings and queens being everywhere was very true. You're very, how do you say, spiritual.
Spiritual!
Clever, you call it. I am always in trouble with my English, and Charles was too lazy to learn French properly. So he lived in France so long.
If you mean clever, he is as clever as 50 boxes.
He may be 50 times as clever as I, but so are many of the blackest villains. weather, for his flashes of the inner light? Did he not stop the butchering of the regicides on the grounds that if he punished them, they could never punish themselves? That is what made me his loyal subject.
I did not mean 50 of you. I meant real foxes. He is so clever that he can always make me seem stupid when it suits him. That is, when I want anything he won't give me. He is as stingy as a miser.
You are like a dairymaid. You think there is no end to the king's money. Here is my Mel, who is more careful of my money than she is of her own. Well, and I am dying, and the rest of you are forgotten. My last thought will be of Nellie.
Oh, Rowley, darling, don't make me cry. I'm not the only one. Louise is very thoughtful about money.
Yes, she knows exactly how much he has. She gets it for him from the King of France.
This subject of conversation is the worst possible taste. Pshaw! Be a king again and forbid it.
Nobody but Barbara would have introduced it. I forbid it absolutely.
Mr. Newton, dinner is served.
You should address yourself to His Majesty. Where are your manners, woman?
In this house, Mr. Newton comes first. Come along, quick, all of you, or your victuals will be cold.
Mr. Nether, will you take her Grace of Cleveland, as you are interested in her curve?
No! Have you seen your Duchess? It is my right to be taken in by the King.
The Duke of York will follow with the junior Duchess. Happy man. You are the King's arm, behave yourself.
Now, Your Highness. Now, Madam Carwell.
You remember, I hope, that Madam Carwell is a Catholic.
Yes, there will be enough cod for the two of you.
Provided Charles does not get at it first. Let's urge.
Will you take the player woman, Mr. Neller?
No. The player woman goes up with her dear old fox. George, today you will dine with publicans and sinners. You will say grace for them.
You remind me that where my master went, I must follow.
There is no one left for you to take in, Mr. Neller. Mr. Newton must take me in and come last.
I will go home. I cannot eat in this house of straight lines.
You will do nothing of the sort, Mr. Neller. There is a cover laid for you, and the king expects you.
The lines are not straight, Mr. Neller. Gravitation bends them. And at bottom, I know no more about gravitation than you do about beauty.
To you, the universe is nothing but a clock that an almighty clockmaker has wound up and set going for all eternity.
Shall I tell you a secret, Mr. Beautymonger? The clock does not keep time. If it did, there would be no further need of the clockmaker. He is wiser than to leave us to our foolish selves in that fashion. When he made a confusion of tongues to prevent the Tower of Babel from reaching to heaven, he also contrived a confusion of time to prevent us from doing wholly without him. The sidereal clock, the clock of the universe, goes wrong. He has to correct it from time to time. Can you, who know everything because you and God are both artists, tell me what is amiss with the perihelion of Mercury?
The what?
The perihelion of Mercury.
I do not know what it is.
I do, but I do not know what is amiss with it. Not until the world finds this out can it do without the clockmaker in the heavens, who can set the hands back or forward and move the stars with the touch of his almighty finger as he watches over us in the heavens.
In the heavens. In your universe, there is no heaven. You have abolished the sky.
Ignoramus. There may be stars beyond our vision bigger than the whole solar system. When I've perfected my telescope, it will give you your choice of 100 heavens.
Mr. Neller, your dinner will be cold, and you will be late for grace. Down with you to your dinner at once.
In this house, you said, Mr. Newton comes first, but you take good care that he comes last. The mistress of this and every other house is she who makes the dinner.
That's a funny fellow, sir. But you really should not begin talking about the stars to people just as they're going away quietly. It is a habit that is growing on you. What do they know or care about the perihelion of Mercury that